So welcome to my second half of the 2014 Australian Victory Rally. My video rendition, mostly on bike video, the GoPro Black Edition. Getting started here in Jindabyne, leaving the Banjo Patterson and heading out on the Snowy Mountains Highway. A little bit of a chilly start today, 6 Celsius, bit of a contrast to the 35s and 40s that we've been having in the earlier part of the tour. And we're making our way now to Adaminaby, where we'll have a bit of a stop and continue on from there. So now we've left Adaminaby and we're tearing off from the group. There's 4 of us here, and we've left the others behind to make our way through to Blackberry Lookout to be first there. They'll follow up a little later. Beautiful roads again, typical of the entire Australian Victory Rally, and we're in snow country now, hence the yellow lines and the snow poles. Just magnificent sweeping turns all up through this high country here as we make our way through to Blackberry Lookout. So here's our arrival at Blackberry Lookout. Temperature's well over 6 Celsius now. We're getting up around 18-20 degrees, so it's a lot more comfortable. The rest of the group just arriving now, and we'll have a bit of a smoko up here, a bit of a look at the view, a bit of a chat, and then we'll head off to Tumut 3 Power Station to have a look there. Now as we depart the lookout, this is the sort of roads we've been looking at riding as we do our descent down off this bit of high country here. Again, beautiful sweeping turns and bends as we make our way down into Talabingo, and that's where we'll head off into the Tumut 3 Power Station. So here we are at Tumut 3, and we'll depart from there and we'll make our way to the township of Tumut now, travelling along past the Blowering Reservoir, beautiful bit of country there, and a stop off for lunch at Tumut. And once we depart Tumut, we're heading off towards Batlow, down to Lauren Hill and down to Tumbarumba. That's our next night's stay. That's been a pretty good ride today. The ride from Tumut through to Tumbarumba was awesome. Unusual roads through a lot of pine forests. Really great guidance through here. The guys have done a lot of research on where we can go for this ride and they just absolutely nailed it. Temperature's back up around 35 again. And a very enjoyable bit of riding. So as we were riding along today, we were made well aware of wild brumbies that live in the area and to be very careful. Interesting thing is, have a look up ahead of us here, a great cloud of dust. Rick's showing us to slow down. Trevor Day had just ridden through that area there, and he had a rather nice experience with a couple of brumbies there that were running along beside him on the side of the road. Now I've got some wonderful shots of that very quickly as we rode through that dust. So a bit of a stop here on the intersection before we head off into Tumbarumba. And away we go, making our way into the village of Tumbarumba for the night. group stayed in a few different places in Tumbarumba. We were at the Club Motel there. It was a good spot. Nice picture of the bikes there in the courtyard. Trevor drying his white fronts out on the boardwalk. Dinner at one of the pubs there was great fun, had a good night. Of course we had an early start the next day to head off from there. Four Bears Cafe. And away we go, heading off from Tumbarumba. So having left Tumbarumba, we're just making our way back to the Victorian border now. We'll head through there and head off to Grania, and then we'll make our way through to Tallangatta. We'll have a bit of a break at Tallangatta and then head off to the Dartmouth Dam. We'll visit Dartmouth. Travelling along the Murray River Road, heading south towards Grania. Beautiful views, beautiful roads, and of course ultimately on the Grania Road. I've made a dedicated video just for this road, which has been put on the VRN. I've also got it on my YouTube site. Awesome road. Just did the Grania Road, bloody excellent. Coffee break at Tallangatta. Some of the boys are a bit tired. So we're heading off from Tallangatta now, making our way through to Dartmouth, and we'll visit the Dartmouth Dam as well. And the weather's warming up. Up to about 25. A little bit of a problem. So needless to say, the GoPro's been damaged, held together with sticky tape. So for the rest of the tour, you're going to have a nice hazy lens view surrounded by a little bit of a bloom there. But anyway, not to worry, it still works. Pretty hardy things. There's the arrival at Dartmouth Dam, no overwhelming area. And just to prove that visions have a lot of power, we're just parking in the middle of the dam wall and it's bent it. Anyway, away from Dartmouth and back down the road now out of Dartmouth Dam. As we left Dartmouth, we made our way back to Eskdale. I'm relying on memory here a lot, guys, so forgive me if I say we've gone somewhere we haven't. Tallandoon and Tangambalanga. That's where we ultimately ended up before we headed down the Kiwa Valley, Mount Beauty. But just here, we mustered up and we're just heading out of Dartmouth. Again, wonderful roads as we make our way ultimately to Tangambalanga. What is it with all these town names in this area? And beautiful weather. We got up to about 30-35 in these areas as well. So in this area here, we're travelling down through the Kiwa Valley, making our way down to Mount Beauty. Heath and Alison just in front of us there on the Goldwing. Beautiful motorcycle. People kept calling it the singer-sewing machine. I don't know why. As we wind our way down the Kiwa Valley Highway. So obviously we arrived in Mount Beauty last night. We're here for 2 nights. This first day in Mount Beauty we've got a separate ride there. About half of the group headed off to do a loop. We head off from here up to Tawonga Gap Road through to Harrietville. Harrietville up to the top of Mount Hotham. Mount Hotham to Omeo. Omeo to Angler's Rest, Blue Duck Inn. And then we'll make our way up to Bogong High Plains Road, Falls Creek, past Rocky Valley, the storage down there, and then back down into Mount Beauty. So it's got some interesting imagery as we ride along through here, especially the ascent up into Mount Hotham. This part to Wonga Gap Road's fantastic as well. A highly recommended riding and a highly recommended loop if you happen to be staying at one of the towns on that particular loop of roads. Give it a go, and especially in good weather. Don't try it in the winter because there's snow everywhere. We're just coming up on the end of Wonga Gap Road. Great little bit of road. Also known as the Alpine Discovery Drive. And now the beginning of the ascent to the summit of Mount Hotham. Soon riding into snow roads again, yellow markers there, orange poles. Seem to go on forever to get up to the top of the mountain here. So I lost a bit of footage up towards the top there. I wonder what happened. So here we are at Danny's Lookout, up near the summit. It's a common spot to stop. Bit of a moonscape there. Good spot for a smoko. Look at that. The best image of riding in Australia, I reckon, that one. It's a ridge back just before the summit of Mount Hotham. Beautiful bit of road. Doing the tourist thing here. I had Roscoe on the back of the Vision for this particular loop, and we're just taking it nice and easy, taking it all in. So crossing the summit now, making our way to the township of Mount Hotham. Interesting places to find large bodies of water up on top of a mountain. That sort of blew me away a bit. Must be for the snow machines in the middle of winter. The tunnel through into Hotham itself. Really nice places to look at in the summertime. There's lots of hiking goes on up in those areas there, and mountain bike riding and the like. Plenty to do. Accommodation's pretty cheap this time of year as well when you're up there. Beautiful chalets and the like. So we'll continue on now. We're just heading down the other side of Mount Hotham, making our way through to Omeo. And that's where we had lunch. So we're heading out of Omeo now, making our way up to Blue Duck Inn. A little bit of a stop there. A bit of fun, bit of a rest. Caught up with some boys on sports bikes there. That's the sort of stuff we had to put up with on the road, log trucks. Always looking out for the log trucks. So away we go now. And onwards to the Bonang High Plains Road. That was a bit of fun. So we've just got up to an area now on the Bonang High Plains Road. A little bit of a break there. Different road conditions again. We're much higher again back up in the snow country. A little bit narrower but still really windy. Road surface isn't too bad. And just an absolutely magnificent bit of country up here. Look at the bikes way off ahead of us there. I'm dragging it a bit here. Just enjoying the view. We better catch up, Roscoe. What do you reckon? Here we go. So here we are getting up close to Falls Creek now. Another enormous water storage there. That's the Rocky Valley storage. I've never been up to these areas. They're really close to where I live, you know, only 150 k's away, so a bit of an education getting up here into this beautiful part of Australia, but look at the size of that. And believe me, this is up near the summit of, well, close to the summit of Falls Creek, so I'm gathering that a lot of this will be iced over in the winter. Magnificent area, big supplies, and a pleasure to travel through. So we'll make our way over to Falls Creek now. So we're just arriving at the village of Falls Creek, almost at the summit. Just mustering in a car park here, catching up with the others. Mind you, the others kept going, so I'll make our turn there. You can see some of the ski runs off in the distance there. So we've got Gary and Jay on the white cross country there. Jay on the back with Gary, giving Wazza in the middle there. Bit of a ride in his own on the jackpot there. He'd been 2 up with Jay for the tour. Webby directly in front of us there, the lead for the whole tour and organiser. Paulie on the black cross country. And we just sat there for a little while, and then off we go down through the village of Falls Creek. And Paul getting his GoPro ready there, looking back. Peter Boulding ahead of us there, and his hammer he rode across the Dargo High Plains, all the way to Mount Beauty, crossing Mount Hotham, to do the second half of the rally with us. And a lot of that was off-road riding, so not a bad job on the hammer there, of course. And you can see the ski lifts and the ski runs in the background there. Lots of them all around Falls Creek. Bit of a twist to the GoPro here, you can have a bit of a look around at the town, or the ski village of Falls Creek. Of course, as we begin our descent back down into Mount Beauty. So one thing's for sure about this year's 2014 Australian Victory Rally is there was absolutely no shortage of magnificent riding. The organisers did a fantastic job of planning out the tour, where we were going, where we were staying, and just unbelievable roads. Blessed with the weather for the whole 8 days. We had one night of rain at Jindabyne and that was it. So it worries you think about how can you duplicate this for 2015. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure there'll be an announcement in the next few months of the AVR in 2015. We wait with bated breath, so to speak. So we'll continue our descent. Done and dusted, the 2014 Australian Victory Rally completed. What an awesome 8 days away. Well, Linda and I clocked up about 2,500 kilometres doing it, so I guess it'll be fairly similar for most of the participants at this year's event. Well worth it, fantastic weather, great people. You'll notice in the credits there's a hell of a lot of names there. That covers everyone that rode in the rally, whether it be a part of it, all of it, or just the last part of it. Had a few little mishaps along the way, but we certainly got on top of that. Great weather for the whole 8 days as well. How are we going to duplicate that in 2015? That stands as the question now. A bit of a worry. Most of the rallies we've had in recent years have been really good weather, so we're going to cop one at some stage. It's going to be wet, I guess. But anyway, let's not dwell on that. Expecting some sort of an announcement on the 2015 Australian Victory Rally. Let's say towards the end of April 2014. Looking forward to it. So there you go. Well, that's the end of the movies. I'm going to look forward to getting off the computer for a while. I've made 4 of them for this particular event. And I guess I'll see you next year for the Australian Victory Rally 2015. Bye.